So you know all those food scraps you toss out every day? What if I told you they're not trash at all? They're actually the raw ingredients for liquid gold. Today, we're going to walk through the science of transforming your kitchen waste into a seriously high-performance liquid fertilizer for your hydroponic setup. This is your blueprint for making it happen at home.
All right, here's the plan. First, we'll look at why composting in the city is such a headache. Then we'll dive into a simple, three-step engineering process. We're going to pickle it, brew it, and then get the ratio just right. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll see what it really means to achieve zero-waste independence.
Look, if you're trying to grow things in an apartment or a small space, you already know the deal. Traditional composting, it's just not going to work. It takes forever, it stinks, it brings pests. It's designed for a big backyard, not a balcony.
So, we need a totally different approach. Let's compare. On one hand, you have rotting, which takes half a year and comes with all those problems. On the other hand, we have pickling. Yeah, pickling. It's 10 times faster, completely apartment-friendly, and the best part, it gives us this amazing, nutrient-rich liquid tea as a direct result. It's a total game changer.
Okay, so this brings us to step one, and this is the core idea. We're not going to let our food waste rot. Instead, we're going to preserve it. We're going to pickle it using this brilliant Japanese method called Bokashi fermentation.
So, what in the world is Bokashi? Well, think of it this way. It's an anaerobic process, which is just a fancy way of saying it works without any oxygen. You basically pack your food scraps into an airtight bucket with some special microbes, the same kind of good bacteria you find in yogurt or kimchi, and you let it ferment. Instead of decomposing and losing all its value, the waste gets perfectly preserved, locking in all those amazing nutrients.
And here's where it gets really cool. You get to play kitchen chemist. Those banana peels you were about to throw out, that's your potassium. Eggshells, crush them up for calcium and magnesium. And your used coffee grounds, a perfect source of nitrogen. You are literally designing a custom nutrient profile for whatever you're growing.
On to stage 2. So our Bokashi bin has created this super potent pickled liquid called leachate. But, and this is important, it's not quite ready for your plants just yet. To unlock its full potential, we have to wake it up with a blast of oxygen.
Right. You absolutely cannot just pour this stuff straight from the bin onto your plants. That raw, anaerobic liquid needs to be transformed first. Pouring it on directly won't work, and it might even do some damage. The engineering solution is simple, though: aeration.
And you don't need a fancy lab to do it. Seriously, this is so easy to build. You just need a 5-gallon bucket, pour in your Bokashi liquid, drop in a cheap aquarium airstone from a pet store, and hook it up to a little pump. Let that thing bubble away for about 24 hours, and boom, you've just built your very own aerated compost tea brewer.
So what's happening inside that bubbling bucket? It's basically a microbial party. Pumping all that oxygen in wakes up a whole different crew of microbes. These guys are aerobic, they love oxygen, and they get to work fast, breaking down all the complex stuff in the liquid into simple ionic forms that your plant roots can absorb instantly. It's like you're pre-digesting the food for them.
We're in the home stretch now, step 3, and this one is all about precision. Our tea is alive and buzzing with nutrients, but it is way too strong to use straight. We need to dilute it down to create the perfect meal for our plants.
Okay, if you remember one thing, make it this number. 1 to 100. That's your golden ratio. For every 1 part of your brewed tea, you're going to add 100 parts of water. This is so important for avoiding what's called nutrient burn. Stick to 1 to 100 and you're golden.
And if you're wondering if this stuff actually works, well, the data speaks for itself. This chart shows the target electrical conductivity, or EC, which is really just a measure of the nutrient strength. And look at that. At our 1 to 100 dilution, our DIY homemade fertilizer hits that perfect sweet spot for leafy greens. It performs at the exact same level as the expensive synthetic stuff you buy at the store.
So let's just step back and look at what we've actually accomplished here. This isn't just a cool science experiment. What you've done is create a powerful, closed-loop system right inside your own home. This is what it's all about. You took waste that was headed for a landfill where it would just sit around producing methane, and you turned it into a priceless resource. You've built a cycle that sustains itself, and you've freed yourself from ever having to buy fertilizer again. That, right there, is zero-waste independence.
Think about it. You've literally turned your trash into treasure. You've created your own little circular economy in your kitchen, which is a massive win. So the only real question left is, now that you've mastered this, what other waste stream are you going to conquer next?